if you analyze the society, how it was structured and what was the values, let's say, after the Second World War in last century, and nowadays the game completely changed. The role also of a woman. The woman gained more power, more confidence, and say the man is still playing the same old game.
This is By Joyan Season 2. I'm your host, Joyan Chan, and every Wednesday we bring you inspiring stories, powerful message, and fun conversations with me and my special guests and friends, and it's my personal mission to empower you to live and lead a life with joy. This podcast is for you if you're looking for more joy, courage, passion, and purpose in your life. Now let's dive into today's episode and get ready to laugh, learn, and live your life to the fullest. Our guests today are an adventurous writing duo who began their satirical novel Festive Trap before the COVID-19 pandemic, drawing on real-life experiences and global travels, aiming to entertain readers while providing a critical look at modern society norms. Through wild adventures, colorful personalities, and dark humor, the novel offers satirical commentary on corporate hypocrisy, dash dreams, and the intricacies on human relationships. And what sets Festive Trap apart is its visual artistry. In a unique move, the book features illustrations from the NFT gallery with exclusive artwork available on OpenSea, blending traditional storytelling with digital art. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcoming a very special guest today, the creators behind Festive Trap, Mitritch and Milqart. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much,
Hello.
Joyan. So, thank you very much for the invitation and for hosting us. And we are really happy to share our experience about like the writing process, like the ideas we blend in this book. Also, have a nice conversation with you.
Yeah, it's definitely my pleasure. So, my first question is what inspired you to write this book? Was there a specific moment or experience that kind of sparked the interest or planted the seed? And whose ideas was it? Maybe it was your idea and then you kind of, bounce it off Milkat.
So I would say like it was really our experience, and like 2019 has been like a crazy year in terms of traveling, recovering from toxic relationships, having let's say new boss that we faced, and all that made some ideas and prepared some building blocks for the book. We wanted to write something satirical, so really entertaining, not to have only let's say psychoanalysis book or psychological thriller. It was really the idea to make it entertaining, festive. Like the festive element, it's the satirical element of the book. The trap is, let's say, the serious topic we are covering here, such as let's say the romantic relationships, and also like the work culture, and what is like the benefit versus, let's say, all the damage that we get when we are navigating in this world.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on top of that, so yeah, basically we try to create this outrageous kind of book, very provocative, and we try to put like all this like the basically a funny way of looking at the miseries of men in our modern societies, like kind of stuck in between his work and his relationship that fails completely. And we try to make it funny, as Mitritch has said, and I hope the readers will enjoy that.
Right. So, how long did it take for you to finish the book actually?
It took us 4 years. So, like the behind the scenes, so we are both native French speakers. So, we have written the book first in French. We have published it. It was released in May last year. And then straight we started the translation of our book. It was also like a challenge for us because we are non-native speaker. So we make use also like of AI, of let's say ChatGPT, Olama, DeepL, and also we learned some new words also for us, like in some American slang, and yeah, it was a funny experience, I would say.
Yeah. And also the challenges to write the book together was also quite interesting. So we had to combine our strengths basically, and but the thing it went kind of naturally through the process. we were kind of complementary, where one is more like about details and making sure like every twist and turn on the book is like properly fit together, like so the story is still coherent. And the other one, which is me actually, on this side, I was more into the synthesis of the ideas and making sure we actually send a message or we pass a message that is actually concrete to the reader. So that was the main challenge. And the other one was also the fact that we had to find our style. Like, since it's our first book, we kind of had to go through it, find our style, find our rhythm, and make sure everything is like under the style of the satire that we really wanted to provide.
Hmm. So I'm curious, like how much of the stories and the characters inside the book are drawn from real life experiences?
To quantify it, it's a good question. I would say probably like 70% of the book
It's a
was.
huge amount.
Especially the crazy stuff.
All the crazy stuff. Yes.
It's all crazy from the beginning to end. So yeah, we can't escape from that.
Wow. Now I'm really curious. So can you name one of the
Yeah, yeah.
craziest stories in the book, and also it's actually drawn from your real life? Maybe not your, but your colleague, right? You
Hmm.
earlier that you mentioned. It's
Hmm.
actually a real life experience.
Real life experience. So for me, I'm a huge fan of heavy metal, all the concert rock. So this is where I wanted to pay tribute to the bands I really love, and also the concert, all the festivals. So like what I depicted, what is happening. I saw also Eric Clapton in Tokyo. This is real something that really happened to me, and also like what I witnessed with Slipknot show, where I lost the wallet and the key of my flat during the mosh pit. That is real.
Okay. How about you, Melka? Do you have any experience that was real that is in the book?
Yeah, yeah, there is plenty of them. Like it's all related to the chapter one about the theme of the bachelor parties, the how it ended up, like a lot of drinks, a lot of crazy stuff, things get out of control, a little bit like in the movie Hangover, right? I guess most of the people have read that. Similar to that. So the scene takes place basically in Eastern Europe, where we do all kind of enjoyment and entertainment and explore all kind of things, right?
Okay. Because it's the book explores the theme of dark humor and all that. But I think it's all reflecting of our modern society and the culture, right? It's reflecting the world that we are currently living in. So, are there any current events or trends that you are actually poking fun at by writing this book that resonates with today's culture?
So first of all, like the romantic relationship and how, like, let's say the dating concept flipped over the years. If you analyze the society, how it was structured and what was the values, let's say after the Second World War in last century, and nowadays the game completely changed. Like the role also of a woman, the woman gained more power, more confidence, and say the man is still playing the same old game.
Mm,
And also, like, I would say the social media really provoke a lot of that in terms of like really the emancipation and so on, maybe like also pointing out the legitimate thing, like okay, there are some scandals about like, but on the other hand, we are reaching another extreme where the man is completely disregarded from the game, and it's also maybe related to like to the polygamous nature of a woman who will always search, like let's say, for a higher status man. And also here we also put the light on, let's say, some toxic relationship. What happens when the couple is not seeking the same goals? And of course the man, he is like at the beginning, this is the honeymoon phase, he is crazy in love, he doesn't see, let's say, all this let's say drawbacks and personality biases, and he refused to see it. But at some point the reality knocks at your door, and then it's an inevitable breakup.
Which is actually perfectly illustrated by the book cover that we have. Like we have made it by actually one of the designer of the GTA video games. It's actually quite funny. It's like you have on one side a man who is like handling a panty, and on the other side you have the woman which is handling a hurt. And actually, this is kind of a message as well, like a satirical view on how things, like how the dynamics of relationship works.
Right. So, I mean, this is a personal question. How
Yeah.
do you,
Okay.
or how did you, okay, have you ever been in a toxic relationship before I mean, in real life? And
Yes,
how did
yes.
you recover from being in a toxic relationship?
So it takes time also to recover from that. I mean, the mistakes that I did is that I completely dismissed my family, my close friends. I mean, Milqart can witness that
Like,
because he
yes,
told me
yes.
like I was about to get married.
Wow.
Yeah, and then afterwards, I reconnected with all of my friends, and I discovered how much I missed. And this is where also like we started traveling. I went to Japan. I went to like the wedding of some really good friend in Italy. It was really like a really nice year. Also, concert music is really helping. So you have to find like your own therapy. I mean, there is no universal, let's say, remedy to that. But I would say really it takes time also afterwards to when you start dating again after a toxic relationship, because this is also the mistake that most of the people are doing is really trying to see all the red flags that you had like with your ex-girlfriend to the next one. The girl can be really nice and so on, but just you are a bit too paranoid to, let's say, go back in the same old troubles. And I would say you are completely healed once you have like your next serious relationship. And good God, it happened to me. So it was also a salvation. But in between, like in this gap between, let's say, the end of your toxic relationship and the start of like a serious, healthy one,
Mm,
like the casual datings, one night stand, it doesn't help. You will still, let's say, it's an oscillator. So there are some days when you completely forgot about your toxic ex-girlfriend, but on some days you are I still have her in my mind. I still picture all like the stuff that I really loved in her. So yeah, it's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, so I wanted to add also the fact that it's when you are into such relationships is for people it's actually very hard to get out of there because the first thing is that you need to first identify that you are in a position that is suboptimal in your life, let's say, from this aspect. And you kind of need to recognize, right? But the problem is most men, like especially when they are young and naive, like usually they think with their second brain, let's be honest, and they are basically only after that. It's not they don't care, but they don't look that much at other values that the other person, especially like a lady, can provide, and they kind of fall into this trap, and then they are into the delusion.
yeah.
They don't recognize it, and then you're kind of stuck. And maybe sometimes you can even stay even longer because you are kind of scared to leave because you are used to some things. You are used to, you kind of have built habits that kind of attach even more the relation with the person, and then it's very hard. This is where it's becoming hard to leave and to identify problems and to accept it first.
Yeah. Relationship in general, and let's talk about modern dating, right?
Hmm.
It's also full of temptations. I remember, well, I have this guy friend who once said to me, like, dating apps is just like a candy store, go on there and you can pick any candy you want. I was like, what are you saying? And anyway, so the book, right, I didn't get it, I was like, guys, right? And
Yeah.
so the book is also full of temptation and chaos and self-indulgence.
Hmm.
So how do you think actually these behaviors reflect the realities of modern dating, modern society, especially in the context of our digital age and also post-pandemic world, I would say.
It's the
Yes.
maybe I would say the cult of personality, really, because with the all the apps that we have, like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, let's say for the millennials, it's really like a platform where you can, let's say, you have your own page, your own space, you are posting pictures, and you are looking for validation. You get a lot of likes. This is how you get validated by the society. But on the other hand, that's not the real life. This is what most of us forget. The real life is really like the experience that we are making. Like when we do some sports, we have some activity, play some music instrument, instead of just like chatting on a platform. Let's grab some beer, some cocktail, some wine, like really have some, let's say, real moment instead of like constantly taking picture and just living in a digital world. I mean, there is a trade-off because nowadays society they are kind of they cannot live with that, but still we have the concept of, let's say, digital detox.
Mm.
Some people are really not checking their phones for 1 or 2 days, and then I think it's only a plus if people do so.
I think, Mitritch has said before, like I do believe that this social media, they are kind of an enhancer of the hypergamous nature of women, and also the fact that men are a little bit weaker in the game. And it's basically just zooming in on that and exposing all the mess.
Just want to clarify one thing. When you say men are weaker in the game, like what do you mean by the game? Like what do you mean by dating or in the
Like,
relationship?
yeah, dating and making relationships, maintaining relationship, and inside the relationships, like they are definitely the weaker sex right now.
Okay, good to know. It's good for me to hear that.
Yeah, for you it is good.
No, I believe we all are equals. I believe we are all equals in a relationship. In a healthy relationship, men, women, we are all equals. Because I mean that's how it works, right? If you want to have a long-term, healthy, conscious relationship, it has to be equal. The effort, the
Yes.
passion, the love, everything, right?
Yeah, reciprocity is the key, really. Like, yeah, and you should do some compromise because you cannot always be 100% aligned on
Yeah.
what the other what your partner wants, and it's all a compromise. Okay, I do a compromise here, you do a compromise the other day. So yeah, this is how it should work.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. So with this book, I'm just curious, are you two hoping to spark a change in the society, in the world today, or is it more of a like a holding up a mirror to today's world for people to reflect on themselves and their life and all that relationship stuff?
Yeah, so basically it is both actually. It is both an entertainment and a mirror to the dysfunctional societies. So the goal with this book was not to so first it was like, to be honest, kind of a relief, and we also wanted to expose all these things, right? And we didn't wanted to make it as a very boring, almost like a documentary or a scientific paper where you read, or some these boring books where you read the book and you fall asleep after two, 3 pages, and so we really wanted to keep the entertainment from beginning to end, while still maintaining this critical view on life and society in general.
So what would you say, what advice would you give to someone who feels trapped, right? Because basically the book is called Festive Trap. What advice would you give to someone who feels trapped in the same whirlwind of chaos and all that, be it in their career, relationship, or even their self image? They're trying to pursue the next thing, buy a bigger car, all that. Like, what advice would you give to someone who feels trapped right now?
So yeah, the first thing is that I just want to say that just about being yourself, keeping your identity, understanding what's wrong in your life, and what aspect do you need to improve. And after that, just be a genuine person, and keep pushing on your goals. That's the main thing. And remove the noise around you, literally. Like there's so many things, so many information, so many people telling you you should do this, you should do that, you should think like this, you should think like that. It doesn't make sense, right? So you need to understand what you want, how do you want to achieve it, right? And break it down and start your path. Keep focusing on that, and the rest will follow.
How about you, Mirich?
Yeah, I completely agree with Milkart. I would just start like just take a break because a break is necessary because when you are trapped into the madness of life, you need some time also to self-reflect to see identify what is the problem, what is like say the root cause, and how you can avoid it. And of course, like family, friends, they can always help with that, and don't keep let's say some stuff only for yourself because sometimes it's worth to speak up from problems that you have and that are really deteriorating your mental health because
Yeah.
speaking up it can really help.
Yeah. Instead of numbing yourself with alcohol, drugs, or anything, right?
It's self-destructive. Also, like in this satirical book, we wanted also to, let's say, portray like the self-destruction of a man. But
Hmm.
yeah, at the end of the game, he changed. He changed a lot. Also, if you have read the book from like how he was perceived.
Huh. No, I think that's really awesome because for a man to change, right? We know how hard is that, and and so like the fact that the main characters, I believe that's what you're talking about, goes through some transformations and become a better man at the end. I think that's really powerful and inspiring for anyone to read.
Exactly, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, just curious, right? Since I'm sure this is something that you're passionate about. Otherwise, you wouldn't be writing a book about this. So, what kind of transformation have you gone through in your life? Could be health, in relationship, or even in, like Melka was saying, like being yourself. Keep pushing through. Like, what kind of transformation have you personally gone through?
Yeah, so quite a lot of different aspects. Life is multidimensional, so you have like work, your health, your well-being, your mental health, your love, your socials, your family. And I think it's very important to kind of find an equilibrium on that. One of the mistakes I made in my life, I mean, still making it actually, is the fact that I might work too much. Like I'm too much into, I just focus on work, which is probably not the best thing to do, but sometimes I try to kind of allow sometimes for other things that are actually much more important, and the recovery time that you get from it makes you actually work better and more productive in general and more happy person. You fit better in society, like all these kind of things. That's the kind of transformation I went through. Kind of also self-development, I would say, like knowing myself, understanding my weaknesses, my strength, how to, monitor myself. Am I going a bit too much? Am I going a bit too all these things? But it's I think it comes through times. Like you have to experience it and you have to listen to yourself and find the mechanism with you. What works for me might not work for you. For
Yeah.
me, for example, I relieve stress with boxing. Like I love this sport. For me, this is definitely like the one of the best relief I can find.
Hmm.
So I do that. Some people might find that in music. Some other people might find that in I don't know, discussion, talking, whatever works, right? But you need to find a mechanism that makes your transformation better, actually.
Yeah. Love that. So, the book is also so unique because it's paired with an NFT collection. So, can you explain why NFT and why is this combination so exciting for your readers and your audience or your fans?
Yeah, exactly. So the NFT collection was like an idea that we had for enhancing the book experience, the reading experience. So we didn't want to have just a book. So we wanted to have a book that the readers can own a part of it, So the NFT is like this non-fungible token, which is basically a uniquely owned object, right? Or asset or whatever that NFT represent on the blockchain. And basically, that's the idea, right? So what we have done is that we kind of extracted some scenes from the book that are very funny or very exaggerated or all these things that we actually loved about. And we kind of extracted an NFT, an image out of it. And basically, like as I said before, like we worked with the best designers, like the GTA designer or some other New York agencies that are like super well renowned. So we have this very high quality collection that enables the audience, the readers to kind of be part of it, to engage more with the book and the story of the book, and we are now actually building a member zone area. So still a work in progress, but we are going to kind of offer different kind of benefits. Some benefits will be like related to the story or the making of or something about ourselves. Some others are will be more like financial benefits that the owner will get with these NFTs. So this is still in progress, and I think this trend of having NFTs in the literature is something groundbreaking. It kind of bridges the gap between the NFT market, the crypto, and the literature, which has not been done before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any other book out there with pairing NFT with their book because I'm not active in that in
So you
the
said it. We are the first one. You said it.
yeah, the first one who did this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I never heard about that before.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is
We
a
are the
pride.
we are the pioneers.
I'm sure, yes. I mean, that is so cool because when you talk about NFT, right, it's all about a digital art. Like, what best can you do with other than book illustration? I think that is just like perfect idea. And do you think this will spark like the new trend for other creators to follow and start doing that for their book as well?
We are living in democracy. Like people have ideas, they create. The goal is to be creative. If you
Mm,
can bring something new, something original, this is how
mm.
the society will progress. Because if we keep on and on copy pasting the same old stuff, we don't make any progress. It's also a way to see it.
Yeah. What is next for you both? Do you have plans for a second book or will you explore other stories in the future?
So definitely we have brewing ideas in our mind. Like it can be like associated to, let's say, the sequel of Festive Trap. We have also some ideas for another book. It's all about time, like keeping all the structure that we need, because this is also like one of the challenge that we face. Like really to design the structure, to find something coherent, like the storyline, the plot, and yeah. But definitely like we appreciated working together. It was very creative, completely different from, let's say, our regular work, because we both come from scientific background and working like in the fintech industry. So yeah, for us it's very creative and it's a therapy. Just writing down the thoughts on a paper, it's therapeutical.
Well, I mean, thanks for sharing because I was about to ask you like, what is your background? Do you have any background in writing or screenwriting? And why? I mean, like, was it like your childhood dream? Maybe when you were a kid, you were thinking maybe I want to write a book in the future. Like, has it always been a dream of yours to write a book in the future?
It came up naturally like at the end of 2019. I would say before I wouldn't consider myself as a book writer, because really I remember when I finished high school, like when I wrote my very last essay in literature and all that, I was okay, that's done. Like I will only write some scientific documentation and nothing more. And yeah, and never say never. I would like to meet my younger self and show him the book.
Right.
So
Yeah. How about you, Milka? Did you have a childhood dream of becoming an author one day?
No, not at all. That was quite an unexpected turn in life. But as Mitritch said, like me too. Like when I was in high school, the same story. And
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing. So that's why actually we are more from the scientific background. So we like more like the factual things and something that can be proven and that is deterministic and reproducible and all this kind of work. So that's why for us it was quite an interesting move.
And how long have you two been friends? Was it for a long time?
yeah, no, but we met already like, yeah, 8 years ago. So yeah,
It's a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what core message or wake up call I would say do you hope readers, people who pick up this book, take away from Festive Trap? Like, is there a wake up call message they want to leave them with?
I would say really live your life. Don't wait for external validation. If you want to experience something, do it. Don't just sit there and waiting for others' approval. Like, okay, you can do this. You have to make your own experiences, Also, know your limits because you might end up completely trapped.
Right. Yeah, I love that. How about you, Milkat?
Yeah, actually, that is a good answer. Basically, the same for me. And follow your dreams. Still a positive message, you see, after all the mess that we've been sharing through the festive trap. So yeah, that's my message. And check out the collection on OpenSea. You will laugh a lot.
Yeah, I've seen some of the graphics though. I mean, it's really thought provoking and striking. I would say,
Yeah,
yeah, which is, I mean, it's a compliment. So, is there anything that I could have asked you, or and I didn't? So, is there anything else that you want to talk about? Perhaps I didn't ask you or didn't let you.
I think you've covered like a good aspect of it. We've been through most of it. Maybe about work, the work culture, how people can be trapped at work. Maybe a question about that.
So how do people escape? Right, since we are talking about being in the trap, how do
Yeah.
people escape from toxic work culture, for example, because they can't, right? I mean, it's their work, it's their, they need the money, right, to sustain life, and how can they escape and live their life and pursue their dreams if that's not what they are really passionate about? I mean, talking about the work, right? So is that, what would you say to them?
The advice is really like know yourself, know your strengths. Like if you have made some studies and so on, you can always find an alternative, a different field. Like really, if you are pressed like a lemon, you don't believe and you turn out like a zombie, that you are unmotivated, you come in the office just for the paycheck. Try to look around. What are the alternatives? And there will be some, or something like you realize that you really don't like this field. Try to do additional certificate trainings, and yeah, you get an additional degree and completely change path. Start also with the network, the importance of networking. I mean, when you are a student you don't really believe in that, but network plays a huge role. Go on some afterworks, meet some people, because yeah, sooner or later paths are crossing, and yeah, we you will meet some former colleague like in a completely different field. So yeah.
Look at you two, you are writing a book, but your background is fintech. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that is a really good example,
Hmm.
right? You can always carve a new path for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
How about people who are so scared to leave their comfort zones? Because they have been doing this maybe for 10 years of their life. They are just so comfortable, right? And we all have
Mm.
been there, right, in the comfort zone. So how do you, and we know how hard is it to break through the comfort zone and take a first step. Do you have any strategies for doing that?
Yeah, but sometimes you are also forced. I mean, you can be comfort, but it's just a snapshot in time. Because yeah, when you face some really difficult times, like the death of relatives of a close friend, this is really like something that makes you realize, like, what am I doing of my life? And also like some studies highlight the midlife crisis, when really like you are just living like in comfort, but then you have also to see like and ask yourself the question, what happens if tomorrow I will die? Will I be happy like of what I have achieved so far, or could I have done something a bit different, and been more wiser, and maybe take more risk? But this is really a personal question, and it highly depends on the personality of each single human being. Because yeah, at the beginning when you are comfortable, of course you don't want to change, but sometimes you are not asked even for the change happens, and there is nothing else to do than to accept and to adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and to add also to that, it's like leaving your comfort zone is actually a huge step for people. It's not an easy thing to do that. And like you talk about fear of leaving the comfort zone. But this fear is most of the time not needed. Like it's unfounded. There is no fear to have actually. There is no fear. These are mostly mental construct due to own insecurities. My advice actually to these people who kind of fear and who are stuck is that to actually do whatever they fear things about. Kind of like fight the fire by fire kind of way. And I think that helps. It's a good way of taking back control of your life. You don't have to see like the end, the peak of the mountain, right? Especially if you're at the bottom, you're at ground zero. Don't look at the maximum level that you can reach. Go step by step because it's very frustrating also to look at all the work that you have to do. But actually, it's a progress. It's step by step, and you have to understand that. So you have to go through it.
I love the analogy of the mountain, right? It's just like writing a book, for example. You spend 4 years writing this book. It's just one step at a time, right? If you were to think about finishing the book and publishing it, it would be so overwhelmed and you wouldn't even take the first step, which is writing the first page, maybe, right? I'm just saying. So yeah, I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah. Exactly. hmm Yeah. That is the idea. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much for joining today. Before we wrap up,
Thank you.
tell our people where they can find the book. Is there any way they can support your work or connect with you?
Yeah, so the book you can purchase it on Amazon. Don't forget also once you purchase it to leave a comment and be honest. We are looking for some authentic comments.
I love that. So if they want to, so how does it work? Do they buy the book first and then they go to OpenSea and buy the NFT? Is that how it works?
Actually, you can do like independently because our gallery OpenSea you can purchase directly our NFTs straightforward. Just like once you have the book, you will read it. You can also like check because once you check the gallery, you are okay. Maybe the stories are completely disconnected, how they are related, linked, and so on, and you will have the direct link if you read the book.
I see. Okay, great. All right, guys, go buy this book on Amazon now. You'll find all the links in the show note below. Make sure you visit the show note. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And I will always leave you the same way as I leave you with every other episode. Show up, the world needs you, and you need you. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all a joyful and amazing day ahead. Thank you again for tuning into Find Joy Joyan podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, take a screenshot and share it on your IG story and take Find Joy Joyan _podcast so I know you are listening. And leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already done so. And remember to hit the subscribe button whether you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, or any of your other favorite platforms. If you love what we are doing and want to become one of our sponsors, you can send me a DM to connect. And thanks for being here. I will see you soon in the next episode.